This is a quote by Cicero over 2,040 years ago. A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within. An enemy at the gates is less formidable, for he is known and carries his banner openly. But the traitor moves amongst those within the gate freely. His sly whispers, rustling through all the alleys, NPR or the snake voices, heard in the very halls of government itself. For the traitor appears not a traitor. He speaks in accents familiar to his victims, and he wears their face in their arguments. He appeals to the baseness that lies deep in the hearts of all men. He rots the soul of a nation. He works secretly and unknown in the night to undermine the pillars of the city. He infects the body politic so that it no longer can resist. A murderer is less to fear. The traitor is the plague. Cicero, who of course was killed after Caesar was killed for basically going along with not wanting a tyrant. So that's Cicero, Roman Empire, more than 2,000 years ago. And it's true, the traitor is the plague. Is it not, Gerald Celente?
Look what they're doing. They're putting the guise of war as humanitarian missions. You know, at least Bush called it a preemptive issue. They're taking us to war under the guise of humanitarian, and they're using that again as part of the nomenclature. And it's exactly right. The traitors are amongst us, and the people. Again, the people have lost the fight in this country. You know, I just read an article about in Ohio, for example, there are more kids dying from overdosing on prescription drug painkillers than auto accidents or drunk driving. You know, so that the whole morality of the nation is being rotted out. I was mentioning before the break about what I read today, Hillary Clinton chastising Gaddafi for allegedly using cluster bombs. And I said to myself, wow, that's interesting. How about all that depleted uranium the United States dumped all over Iraq? Oh, that's okay.
And now Libya.
Oh yeah, and how about Israel, you know, bombing Lebanon with cluster bombs? Oh, not a peep about that. You know, so they have, oh, and how about those Predator drones? Listen, Gaddafi's a rookie. I mean, he should be picking up America's atrocities. Could you imagine if they had a Abu Ghraib in Libya? How they would be talking about that? And the mainstream media, you know what I've come up with a name for them. They're nothing more than prostitutes. They're whores for the people in power. It's the revolving door. You have this guy, Carney, James Carney, the White House spokesperson. Hey, where did he come from? Geez, Time magazine. He couldn't have been a Yaley, could he? You really? You mean Harvard, Princeton, Yale, bullets, bombs, and banks? So the whole thing, Alex, it is a world order, and all you have to do to see the proof is to see who took most of the money from the Fed discount window. Foreign banks. What's Fed money going to bail out foreign banks? $20 trillion worth of back-end deals on the other end, going to Bank of Scotland, Japan, to the Deutsche Bank, on and on. So anybody that I used to say, this New World Order, come on. The golden rule, those who have the gold rule. And the gold is coming out of our pockets, stole by the Fed, and spread over to the other world banks that are running the show.
Well said. Let's continue for 5 more minutes with Gerald Celente. Stay with us, Infowars.com. Just got 5 minutes left with Gerald Celente, and the point he made is the point I'm trying to get home. Admit we have a criminal government. Doesn't mean all the cops are criminal, the school teachers, even the bureaucrats. The system is unequitable. It's designed to bring in tyranny, and it's a bunch of insiders who got their people into the bureaucracy in the last 100 years, who have sold us out to foreign banks, and they have a religion. I mean, the globalists admit that they're post-industrializing us for our own good. They're making us poor for our own good, but then they're going to live like kings. And they are going after our First Amendment, everything. And people listening out there, you were getting into your research. They now admit this whole world government. Gerald, you were elaborating on the fact that this is a world government. Looking forward into the future, not just the near future, but out from that, how do you see this ending? Because now the rats are starting to leave the sinking ship. We're now seeing globalists like Newt Gingrich saying, get rid of Bernanke. We're now seeing polls showing the majority of people want to get rid of the Fed. Looks like this ruling class that controls the political class of whores is in trouble.
Well, to an extent, but remember, the game is rigged and they're running the game. I mean, to me, the only outside shot is a Ron Paul. And, I was on, he's one of the people I like to be on a lot with is Judge Andrew Napolitano and on Fox. And he told me one of the most successful shows he had was when he had Ron Paul and Ralph Nader on, talking about a progressive libertarian party. Progressive in the terms of foods, like you mentioned, eat-foods, and they're clean food. And by the way, I coined that term clean food in 1993. So I'm concerned about what I eat. I'm concerned about the environment and the water. And yet I'm with Ron Paul on the other end. I don't want my money going overseas. I love this Hillary Clinton. She's a real sport with our dough. She just told Japan, we'll help them out too. They go around and give our money to everybody. We just gave Israel some more money for their missile defense system. I'm sick and tired of these people telling me where my money has to go.
By the way, they're going to make the Japanese people pay for Tokyo Electric and General Electric, even though the General Electric's own engineers quit 30-something years ago when they built those. So General Electric, Tokyo Electric, they don't have to pay nothing. The Japanese people, they're going to pay.
And we'll pay, because she's already donated some of our money. So what I'm saying is that the only way out, to answer your question to me, is a third party. Because this isn't democracy in America. They don't represent us. And you talk about the cops. 2 weeks ago I got 2 tickets, one on a Saturday night and one on a Sunday. And yeah, this kid, he was groomed to be a perfect young Nazi, Oh,
no, they're crawling all over everything, but then won't respond to real crime now.
Exactly. So they've become, the police have become the enforcers for the crime bosses. You haven't seen one head roll on Wall Street. So what I say to the police, and I know a number of them, do what's right morally. Not what your corrupt boss who's tied into the politicians is telling you to do to bring more revenue in because taxes are going down. Do what's right morally. And to me, Alex, that's the only way out of all of these problems.
Well, no amount of taxes. I mean, just a few years ago, I'd drive to work and I'd see 5 cops. Now, I might see 20. I mean, they are feeding on us, and they're pulling people over for going 1 mile over the speed limit now.
I know. I'm saying, I don't want to go out at night anymore. I have one drink and I only, will they be after me? Meanwhile, as I said, the real criminals, like try Congress, they get off with a slap. How about that guy Charlie Wrangler? Remember him?
Yeah.
Remember all the stuff that he got caught doing? How about all these people like Daschle and Geithner who never pay their taxes? Oh, they get caught. They say, oh, I made a mistake. You or I get caught. Boy, we're doing hard time for a long time.
Yeah, so, Gerald,
again,
give us your website.
We need a new third party.
Give folks your website again.
Trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com, and we just came out yesterday with the spring issue. It's one that you shouldn't miss. It's a collector's piece.
All right, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so much. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.